I'm teeing up. I'll tell you as soon as we're queued in. I'm teeing up. I'll tell you. All right. We're live. All right. I'm going to give us a countdown, and we're going to be streaming live on YouTube. It's a live stream, the Sunday night special, man, as we get cracking. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Urban Grind TV. It's your guy Wally, aka Mr. Music, TV, and Sports is My Business. This is where we spotlight creators who turn life into legacy. And today we're taking a trip down to the South. I mean, to the heart of Clarksville, Tennessee, the hometown of a storyteller who writes with power of a camera lens. He's the mind behind Ducati Mob series, a movement that has redefined modern street literature with raw truth, cinematic flow, and characters you never forget. Please welcome the award-winning author and creative powerhouse, author KOLD.
Appreciate it.
Oh man, how you feeling tonight?
Man, I feel great. Honored.
So talk to me, KOLD. What's
Yes.
the meaning behind it? Who gave it to you? Did you come up with it? What's the background on it?
So cold actually came from when I was like in the street life heavy as a kid. I went to a juvenile facility and in there they called me cold blooded because of my charges coming in there. Cause I was, short dude, 8 years old, had serious charges. So they was like, man, you cold blooded. So like in the gang life, when I got in it, they started calling me player cold. You know what I'm saying? But I dropped it once I decided like just write about the streets instead of living in them, and decided just to keep author code, as the name. That way, I still like wrote with the mindset of the streets that I knew when I'm doing my stories and stuff like that.
How do you feel about speaking of the streets? I'm always curious. How do you feel about the young people nowadays that feel like perpetrating a street life that they've actually know nothing about and have never lived? Well, how do you feel about people that glorify that without truly understanding the consequences that come with it?
I mean, nowadays I think everybody is overlooking why these organizations was created in the first place. When I was into it, I used them like to lean on. You know what I'm saying? They were like family to me, like taught me about like we live by codes and morals, and we had principles. We had like pieces that told us about like the history and everything like that. And these were things for the community for us because we didn't have nothing else to turn to. So we had to depend on each other, like create something for ourselves. And now I think like it lost its way because it turned into like a popularity thing, a thing of like who has what, what I'm saying, follow the person who has the most uh money or could give the most if you're like in the gang or like the product life or whatever, got the product that they could put me on or whatever. So it's not even about uh what like I was raised taught about it. Now it's more just a lot of extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? Trying to repping something that they know nothing about, honestly. But like the youth now is like lost. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no longer things to turn to as an alternative no more. You know what I'm saying? If you're every time you step outside your front door, you know what I'm saying, you're seeing this stuff go on in your environment and stuff like that. That's all you have to look at. So that's all you learn and pick up on. You think that that's what life is. Whereas like back in the day, you had like boys and girls clubs or like people in the neighborhood trying to put together things for the youth, like running basketball games, football games on the field, or something like that, cookouts, anything like games. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned to play dominoes and all that stuff from old heads, but we don't have that no more because now the old heads is like people my age, you know what I'm saying, like teaching the wrong thing, still stuck in that mind frame of gang life or whatever, trying to mislead them to the wrong thing instead of telling them something wise.
You're talking about the structure. They got, at V-Dub, DJ V-Dub from Chicago, he often talks about bring back the structure. And you're talking about the bylaws, the morals, the reason that these institutions, organizations were created. It meant something different. And I
Mm.
think guys our age, we don't want to be around the crazy young guys because they're wild. And honestly, they don't know you, they don't honor you, like they don't really, there's no structure. So it's definitely the Wild West. So I want to talk about your origin and your inspiration. Clarksville shaped a lot of your journey. What was it about that city and your early experiences that made you pick up the pen and start writing?
So born and raised in Clarksville, I've watched it change. So when I got out of juvie, I came back, and I'm one of those who kind of blew my opportunity because while I was in juvie, I actually had a scholarship to run track. I could have went to the University of Maryland or whatever, but I came back um, waiting to start the fall. I was supposed to go in the fall semester, but I just dove back into the street life. You know what I'm saying? Got back around the wrong people and stuff like that. So uh, eventually I lost the chance at the college. I ended up getting locked up, incarcerated for an attempted murder where I had to sit down for a minute. Then eventually I did get found not guilty at trial. But that was like a blessing in disguise that I took for granted as well because I turned right around, got locked up again for robberies and stuff like that. So when I started writing books, though, was 2015. I was incarcerated in Kentucky because I had crossed the state line, did a robbery, ended up having new time over there. So we didn't have no books by like Black authors in Kentucky. I mean, it's Kentucky, number one. So like everything they had was, for the other people. So I remember they had like two books that was what we call hood books. You know what I'm saying? They got names for like urban fiction, whatever, but they hood books to us. And we was reading them, we're like, man, they like far-fetched stories. They ain't really reflect the street life that we knew. So I was talking to a couple of the other guys and stuff. I'm like, man, I could write something way better than this. And they challenged me. They was like, well, go do it then. So that day I went into my cell and I started writing my first book called The Bottom. And when I was writing, I wanted to base it off what I knew of the streets. Like, so I always tell people the books I write are based off my experiences or the experiences of other people that I grew up around. Cause I mean, I've been around like OGs. I've been around real dope boys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen how that played out in the streets, but I wanted to keep it entertaining at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like put a story around it. So I just blended the two together, but I did it with the mindset like I want to write it like a movie. You know what I'm saying? So like I daydream what I was writing out and it just played out as a movie on the paper. So it just, and I use Clarksville as the base of all that because number one, that's where I grew up at. But number two, most of the time when you read these hood books, they're based in big cities. You know what I'm saying? They're in the Chicago, they're in the New York or LA or something. Nobody knows what's going down here in Clarksville. They look at it like, oh, Clarksville, the fifth biggest city, but it's not Memphis, it's not Nashville. You know what I'm saying? But they get active down here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to shine a spotlight like on my city.
I mean, and that's a perfect segue. So building the Ducati Mob universe, your Mob series, it kind of feels like a TV show on paper. It's fast paced, it's visual, it's layered with emotion. What inspired you to blend like the biker culture with deep storytelling? Where did that come from?
So I have this like arc reader, right? She gets to read everything I write first. I run it by her first because I trust her judgment. And she had brought it to me. She was like, you should do a biker series. And I don't like writing stuff that I don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? So I was hesitant to do it. But when I did it, I was like, well, I want to blend like the street life. I want to blend like Biker Boys, you know what I'm saying? Because that was like my favorite motorcycle movie or whatever. And then I had watched shows like Sons of Anarchy and The Mayans. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just build a world about this. But at the time I was writing it, I had some stuff going on in my life that focused on the betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Like people closest to me kind of like trying to brush me off or whatever and doing shit that felt like a betrayal to me. So I just used that for my character. I was like, well, what if I had a dude that's a leader of this crew? You know, Deuce is the character's name. And he got all these snakes in his organization. He don't know where this stuff is coming from. You know what I'm saying? And he's blinded by his loyalty that he gives to people, but isn't quick to see that they ain't for him, they against him. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I wanted to work that in there, but at the same time make it like an action packed TV show. Cause I was like, man, I want to write for something for TV. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the powers, we got all these other shows, you know, but I was like, I want to bring something new. So I decided to make them all like short, quick novellas, like episodes. And I tell everybody I'll give y'all an episode a month. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to bring back that anticipation for the next episode. Because nowadays you just got this stuff right there on streaming or whatever. But I want people to anticipate, well, what's going to happen next after they read it? You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. It blew up. It's probably the most popular one I have right now out, and I just like writing it. It's my release to address things going on in the book world or in the real world, you know. So I just have fun with it.
I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of fun with it. KOLD, you write with such vivid realism. Uh, s- Readers can say that they can actually see the scenes unfold in their head. How I
Mhm.
need to know is how are you finding the balance between like truth and writing creatively without losing authenticity, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So like I don't know. I write the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first started writing, I was using my homeboys' real names or like the real names of people that was really telling like wherever they was doing, wherever their character was in person, that's how I wrote them. You know, so like even now, I keep the realism in there where I feel is the truth in it because I've always heard there's no better story than somebody who's actually lived through the stuff that they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way you get people to connect. So if I could pour my experiences into these stories and then put something in there that people can attach to, relate to, like the things going on in the world today and stuff like that, they're going to be drawn to that and feel a connection with it. So it's to me, it's best to put truth in it. That's why I like to call my stuff true fiction. You know what I'm saying? It's a fictitious story, but there's truth in there throughout. So
The names and places have been changed to protect the guilty. That's what it is. That's
yeah.
now in 2022, you won the Penn Award, and you actually did it for a play you wrote. It's called Can't Win Penn, the Can't Win Penn. It's huge. Tell me what that moment meant for you, and how does some winning like an award like that, how does that change your vision as a writer?
Honestly, it was crazy because I won that while I wrote the play while I was incarcerated, right? So like I was already writing in 2015, but the only way we could use the typewriter in there was if we were either working on legal work or a participant in the Pioneer Playhouse program that they had in there, right? So me, I want to type my stories up because like all the inmates is trying to read them, and I'm not trying to give them the handwritten paper. So I was like, all right, I'll join it. Right. So in there, I learned how to like perfect my storytelling because I learned about screenplay, like how to write a screenplay, how to write a 10-minute play, how to get to the plot quicker. So I wrote comedy in that class. Everybody else was writing stuff based on being locked up. I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times the teacher would be like, yeah, just write something, in here. I'm like, nah, I don't want to live in here because I'm already in here. So I want to bring the comedy and take us outside of here. So I I know they did the Penn Award like every year. So I will always submit my comedy plays to it. And one of the other inmates in the class was like, man, they don't take comedies, like they want they want the prison stuff. I was like, all right. So I wrote the play Can't Win Pen as a mock, like mocking the Can't Win Pen. You know what I'm saying? So when I found out I won the award, I won second place in it. It, it tripped me out because I'm like, damn, well, they do fuck with comedy, but they also want the prison stuff. But it was like the first time that I got to see that what I was doing on the inside, changing my mindset and focusing on a craft that took me away from the streets while still being able to be myself, it paid off. You know what I'm saying? And like it felt like I earned, like I did something with my time and I got rewarded for it. You know, so it felt great for real.
Did something positive with your time and you did a lot of growth. I mean, one of the things I've always loved was to write, and I can see, but I get the luxury of being able to do television. So I get to actually bring it to life. But that's one thing I've worked with a lot of authors, my 2 decades plus in the business. But I would say you've got one of the more visual and vivid stories. And I know that because the world don't know is I worked on his website. What's the website? Tell him drop the website.
The website's authorcold, KOLD.com. It's hard to turn out great.
I'm glad you love it. So beyond beyond the street, you've proven that you can move across different genres. And what draws you to explore new ideas, new lanes? And what's one style or subject that we might see from Cold next?
So I don't want to be, I tell everybody I'm a writer. I don't like to put myself in a box, even though while while I was incarcerated, I wrote 33 street lit books, hood books, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want people to think that's all I can write. So like I want to get outside the box. So I've actually crossed over into doing paranormals, doing a romance. I'm not a romance guy, but I did it uh, just to show that like I'm versatile. I could write anything that I put my mind to. So like what people see next from me is I do have, like I said, a paranormal coming out about the gargoyles. I kind of based it as like homage to the old gargoyle TV show, but still keeping that mindset like what I did with Ducati Mob is still hood, you know what I'm saying? But it's also got all the elements that TV show had with the female detective and the gargoyle trying to help out, but then he got a bad evil brother, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to destroy stuff. Then I do have a romance dropping next month on my birthday, the 21st. Um, that is, like definitely a tease to people that want me to write a romance because like I said, my fans asked me to do this. That's the only reason I wrote the romance in the first place. Because I asked like, what y'all want to see me do next? So everybody said romance, knowing I don't like them. But I figured, all right, so since y'all want me to write one, I'm gonna put 3 tropes of romance in this one book, still have my street stuff, and still make it different, than what's out there. So I definitely had that coming as well.
I got one last question for you. When readers pick up a cold book, what do you want them to feel or remember most about the world you've built?
When they pick up a code book, I want them to be able to see themselves in a character in that book. That's when I feel like I did some good writing. Because the one thing I used to love when brothers inside behind the fence used to come to me after reading was like, man, I see myself in so and so. You know what I'm saying? Or like it created like a creative gene inside them to where they wanted to write too, or see what their creative bone might bring them. So I just want my stories to be able to pull people from the reality that we're in, give them a moment in a world that they could get lost inside of temporarily, but still come out of it like, damn, like that was a dope ass story and I connected with it.
Speaking of connecting with you, if people want to tap in, they want to cop the books, they want to follow you on social medias, they want to check out your brand new website, tell them all your socials, your contact, how can they get in tune with you?
All right, so I'm on every social media platform as Author Cold. That's Cold with a K, KOLD. The website is authorcold.com. And I mean, I will be participating in multiple events next year. New York, Atlanta, Vegas, Ohio. So I'm gonna be out and about. They definitely have a lot of book events, so I encourage people to check them out because we might be near you or in your city.
That's amazing. I need one more thing for you. We get out of here. I want you to look in the camera, introduce yourself, and say you're watching Urban Grind TV.
What's up, y'all? I'm Off the Code, and you're watching Urban Grind TV.
That's right, man. This is powerful insight from one of the most vivid storytellers in the game, Author Cole. We appreciate you for tapping in with Urban Grind TV and reminding us that writing is not just storytelling, it's part of a legacy. To everyone watching, tapping in with Author Cole, streaming this live or catching us on the replay, I want you to go grab that Ducati Mob series, follow my man's journey online, and as always, stay locked to Urban Grind TV, the 28-time award-winning home for music, culture, and the grind that makes legends. It's your guy, Wally, aka Mr. Music. TV and sports is my business. Until next time, don't forget, if you slow up,